Just a little
Not
bit.
everyone can be fucking muscular.
Wow, that was muscleist.
Right, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait it out a bit, won't we? Just gonna, have to wait it out.
We're just gonna wait for a wee bit.
Yeah. I do feel a wee bit.
By our
I feel
beautiful file.
Exhibit.
A.
Exhibit G. Oh, 2 likes. That's lovely. Thank you very much for the likes.
So everyone that's viewing at the moment, we're just gonna give it a few minutes for everyone to join.
I might. Oh, 2 people. Hello.
Hi.
I might actually turn this a little bit.
Sorry.
I might turn this a little bit if that's okay, Bab, because I'm halfway in. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Sorry, it's my Leo rising.
I know, it's my book. It's my book, and you're like
double like
double Leo, and then Leo rising.
Yeah.
Mine's Cancer rising, so it's the crab.
Alright.
I ordered your book, should be delivered by the time I get back. Oh, thank you so much, Nathan's Way. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've got 4 people live. Oh, this is actually my first YouTube live, like I've done ever. So
I've never done a YouTube live.
I think I've done YouTube for like 10 years, back in the days in the old
shed. The old
shed.
shed room. I'm going to move a wee bit though, because it's a little bit.
This is when we start fighting. That's perfect. No, that's perfect.
Right.
We've got equal. We're like
the Leo.
Oh, it's Lisa. Hi, lovely.
Hi.
Oh.
Alright, we're just going to wait for a wee bit for everyone to
we're just
join and just watch us be natural, right?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this.
Yeah. Sexy book.
This is, and this is the proof copy though, which is why it says not for resale, but this is the actual first original Barbarous words. Midgard's Nat. Hi, I just ordered the book today. Oh, thank you so much. Nathan's Way, when is the audio book coming out? That's a really good question. We will get to questions at the end of the live, so just bear with me. But we're going to have a question section. The audio book will be coming, but it won't be for a while. So, but bear with us.
It's a lot more trickier for an audio.
Yeah, for an independent author.
Like for my book, I don't think I want to do it myself.
I couldn't do it with my voice.
No.
I mean, it'll hardly send you to sleep, will it?
We shall fight back at this book. Anyway.
When I turn the other page and then my Mancunian side comes out like, pies and gravy.
I'll be fucking sitting in like Birmingham, then like London, then Edinburgh. I think it's all a matter of like getting the right person to do your audio.
Yeah, my voice is not for audio. Well, I think should we just begin?
Yeah.
I think we should just begin because it's been 3 minutes.
Would you, probably everyone knows who you are already. So, George, who are you? What are you about?
You're really bringing out my Leo side now, aren't you? You're really doing it. So, most people on my YouTube will know who I am. My name's George Hares. I'm a folk magician. I'm a practicing traditional witch and folk witch. I've been practicing since I've been 11. I also practice hoodoo and root work as well. But mainly my channel does focus more on British folk magic and traditional witchcraft. So that's kind of a bit about me. I specialise in kind of hedge witchery and just folk magic really in general, particularly cunningcraft folk magic. So
and you're an amazing tarot reader as well, professionally.
Oh, I keep forgetting
he always forgets that. He's
But when you're like you're an amazing tarot reader, I'm like I feel like dead like.
No, trust me. Like I'm always like when I've always got from. I do tarot, but I don't do it professionally. I just do it for myself and friends. But every time I have like a problem or something, I'm like, go on, get the card.
So I do love tarot. I am a tarot geek. I've read since I've been 11.
So I'll introduce myself.
Yes.
So I'm Ash William Mills. I am known as Scottish Cunning Ways on both Facebook and Instagram. And I am the author of Isabel, the Black Book of Isabel Godey and other Scottish spells and charms.
Do I have a plug in there? I have a cheeky plug.
Well, and I also am a creator. So I make charms and all sorts of magical cures
Yeah.
of a sort of a Scottish content where it's mythology and whatnot.
They are beautiful though. Like the
Oh.
stuff you make is like stunning.
So I'm an animist. I'm a folk magic practitioner, and I'm a researcher. So yeah, and I'll be here today asking Georgia some juicy questions about his book.
It's just like figured some questions. So
Oh.
what we're gonna do?
And I
is,
thought
like,
all the better, like that, a good friend to ask you.
you're gonna get really personal. So like, how did you feel that time you was drunk and you made
Oh,
that
well,
terrible mistake?
So when you was in that book, when you was drunk? No, but on the serious note.
Yeah.
So.
Us serious.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so just gonna ask some questions. But if anyone has some questions at the end of the video, fire away.
Like when it used to be, I'm having a cheeky bit of wine.
Yeah, and like when it used to be, I'm drinking something non-alcoholic. I do actually drink. Yeah. Anyway, right, should we crack on?
Right. So I guess my first question to you is, what was the inspiration for the book? Like, sorry. No, not that.
What was the inspiration for the book? We'll go
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. So what was the inspiration for the book? Like, what was it that inspired you to write about British folk magic and compile such juicy work together?
Oh, stuff here. Juicier than the tango. So in terms of the actual inspiration for the book, I love compilation books, no matter from what era, like The Wicked Child Decay by Andrew Mercer, Graham King, Gemma Gary as well, The Black Toad, I love that book, it's one of my favourite, The Charmer's Psalter. There are so many different books of operative folk magic that like I really love, and I really, each time I read it, I kind of do like a little sex wee inside. I'm kind of like, oh, like I genuinely get so much joy from my operative folk magic. But one of the things that I kind of noticed, and this is in no way a read to any of those books, because all the authors and all the books I highly have so much respect for, and my book wouldn't be there if it wasn't for their books. Like I'm just gonna,
Andrew Mercer and to Graham.
Yeah, like so, and all the aforesaid authors. But the point is, one of the things I always notice with a lot of folk magic books is that there was kind of an element of kind of, this is what people used to do, this is how it used to be done, and I love that because it's like so evocative, and it's like, oh, this is amazing, but realistically, I'm kind of, at the time, I was like, well, how am I going to run a cow through like two bonfires on Midsummer's Eve in Manchester City Centre? It's just not, it's not going to happen.
No.
And I don't.
We don't churn our
Yeah, I don't churn my own butter. So it was kind of, for me, I kind of wanted to. The inspiration was given something in terms of folk magic, but in terms of something that would be operational and functional to the modern world. Because for me, and I'll go into more about him, but Cecil Williamson is someone that I've got quite a lot of respect for, because I found that a lot of the things he does, he always took the folk magic pieces he gave was always in modern contexts. Like he used to speak to the spirits in his house, and he had like spirits of the fridge, spirits of the washing
calling
machine.
himself the wild side witch.
Yeah, stuff like that. And
I always think like you're either like a Gerald Gardner or a Cecil.
Yeah, I love Cecil.
And I'm always a Cecil. And
yeah,
so do you.
I love, So that for me was kind of the inspiration, because I wanted to keep British folk magic as a practice going. I wanted to keep it moving. I wanted to keep it with the times. And in order for anything to progress, in order for anything to move, it has to go with the times. Like it has to go with the times. So for me, the main thing was that it went with the times.
Because we talk about this all the time, don't we? Like
absolutely.
Like with folk magic, it's in the word, it's with the folk.
Yeah.
So like we no longer live in like the 19th century or the 18th century. We live in the 21st century. So like folk magic flows through us, the folk.
Absolutely.
And so that ties nicely, which I was going to ask you.
Oh, sorry.
So
sped off. I get that.
All right. So like, what was your journey doing this book? Like, because I remember like when you were at the Names Art and you did this beautiful presentation. Well, we both did.
Yeah.
About how modernising folk magic, and you made an example of the Carmelicus Delicate.
Yeah.
You know, about we no longer have vast forests and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what was the journey for that book? Like what
Have you
made
ever
that
seen
book?
like, have you ever gone to an airport on a really stormy day and you see the plane landing and you're like,
We did.
yeah, you remember coming back from Dublin with the storm?
Yeah.
It was like that.
We
and
were
the plane
literally
was sort of
praying.
like bouncing and the sort of,
Yeah.
you know,
I was grabbing onto his arm.
yeah, like it was,
like pinching.
it was literally like that. It was like a really bad landing.
Oh.
I have to be completely and utterly honest. The journey writing the book was absolutely horrific. I had some major changes in my life. I split from a nearly 10-year relationship. I moved city. I technically moved country because from England to Scotland. And on the way, you know, I kind of, it was a really bumpy ride and it was really harsh and quite difficult. And it's taken 2 years to write. Like the book has actually taken 2 years to write. But it's interesting because from the Nameless Art, the book has kind of undergone like a journey because it's something that originally, and this is hilarious, but originally the book was actually going to be two-sided. So the book was actually going to be, there was going to be one side for sort of cunning folk magic and flip side with another back for witchcraft, for maleficia. So it would be two sections in it. And that's originally what I was going to go by. So half a book full of cunning folk stuff and half a book full of witchcraft stuff. And it's really strange, but Nigel Pearson released his book War Cunning, which has the magical side, and then you flip it and it has the medicinal side. And I was like, because it's funny because it was actually something originally that I was kind of thinking of doing. That was the original thing, but it was kind of a blessing because the book kind of completely transformed to what it originally was meant to be. Because the Nameless Art, when I've done that talk, I felt really inspired. I felt really inspired to kind of keep folk magic going.
That was a really good event as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I loved the event. Like we had a lot of fun, didn't we? But like I wanted to keep it going in a way that would be practical. It's a way that would be sort of a way that's approachable, a way that's down to earth, simplistic, because that is the way that I work.
I guess, like in a weird way, like that was the beginning of both our books, really, because you did a talk about British folk magic, about modernising old charms, and I did content about the magic that's within Scotland. So I guess like it's weird because I think it really spared when we did that talk. It probably was the actual scene.
I didn't even think
about
that.
It's just getting to be now.
A little part of contrast.
And then it's like that. But like what you said earlier, like about books taking, you know, a journey of its own, it's very much true. Because like with my book, you know, it wasn't meant to be what it was called. And I think once you get it, you start writing the content. Like then essentially you're creating something. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I call it my wee baby, and I'm sure you see your book.
Yeah, it's my baby.
And it takes, once you start writing, it takes a journey of its own.
Yeah.
So my next question for you.
Oh, I wanted to add a little bit more onto the actual journey. I moved. This is during writing the book. This is the reason why it was quite traumatizing. And not only did I move places, I moved 6 times last year, and some with the help of amazing friends as well, and like you, but also Mark, Rachel, like loads of friends in Manchester as well that genuinely helped me. And yeah, so it took 6 house moves and 2 lockdowns to make it. It was hard. Like I have to reiterate, one of the reasons why I'm like, oh my god, I've finally done it, was because there was a lot of trial with this. And you know what it almost reminded me of a bit?
What?
You know how in like witch initiations you hear that the witch suffers or something really traumatic happens to the witch before she undergoes her initiation, or before she kind of undergoes this transformation.
Like the deal.
That's how this felt. Genuinely, that is how this book felt. There was beyond trial and tribulation. There was beyond trauma at times, and it was.
And that's putting aside the process of like Amazon.
That's nothing to do with publishing, by the way. Like that is just the publishing, well, when things in my life are lovely now, you know, like I have amazing, beautiful people around me who I love to bits, like, and I couldn't be happier, and I know kind of what happened is the best thing really that happened to me, and I'm glad it happened, but, you know, it's kind of, this did take a lot of literal sweat, blood and tears. I'm just going to be honest.
And good half of it was me seeing that, and there's so much research that went into it. And it's like also going on to KDP, like you know, it's going like an indie author like myself and you, like going on the platform of Barnes and Noble or specifically Amazon KDP, like it's hard.
Like it's super hard.
I mean, it's a lot more worth it, but it's a lot harder, and you have to do the work yourself. And it's sometimes it's trial and error. Like my first book, like
oh my God.
Like this will go into yours. Like so when I first published my book, there were some issues with Amazon, and it's not on my part, where the numbers started from page 10 or something like that, and I had to contact them, and it got sort of rectified. And it's the same with
me, the front cover, which is the front cover. I have to be honest, I'm kind of in love with the front cover. Like when I designed it, I was like, that's it. But there was this on the first edition, there is the most obnoxious thin white line at the end, and it's not it's just based on Amazon, but it's just this thin white line on the book. And when I first saw it, people were like, I've got the book, and I'll see it, and I'll be like, ah!
Do you know what? The way I see it is like with my book and your book, like there's errors, and it's like with coins, like so whoever got them error books, they'll be worse than their lifetime.
And also I have to say that is technically a first edition. Now, by the way, guys, the issue has been fixed. The white line has been fixed. A couple of ass kickings later, but you know it has been fixed, and the book does look like this now. So thanks the gods.
So my next question, going on the book itself, the title, why Barbarous Words? Like I'm sure everyone. I mean, I know, but I'm sure everyone else would like to know why the title Barbarous Words.
Yeah, so going back to Cecil Williamson was a figure that I have so much respect for as a practitioner. He's somebody that I get a lot of inspiration for. And a lot of the time I randomly just find myself going across the archive of Museum of Witchcraft online just to read some of the things that he wrote.
Because he started up there.
I mean, there is a thing that he actually said in the book. And he basically talks about how, sorry, I'm trying to find it now. He basically talks about how it was an interview, and someone said, it was really, you know, old back in the day, and they said, how do you conjure up a devil? Music and incantations, do they help? And he says, if one employs a complete gibberish, just makes a lot of sound but has intense thought behind it, so that you're trying to will over what you want to say, is that you do seem to be able to make contact and to be able to convey your meaning to the spirit force. And that was in 1962 in an interview. And that just resonated. And he did speak barbarous words on that interview. The other part of it is that barbarous words are very prevalent within folk magic, and they're super prevalent within folk magic. And if we think about barbarous words, in order to create them, words that don't technically exist, but they are words of power, one still has to have a lot of creativity for that.
One being like Iku Sambara.
Iku Azara. Like, so you have to have a lot of creativity in order to do that. And this book, in terms of modernizing older spells, has taken a lot of creativity, things that I've experienced, and that's one of the things in this book that I have actually put my own experiences in this book. I've put spells down, but I've also put some experiences that I have had as a practitioner, and that's something that I've really wanted to kind of, just something that I've really wanted to kind of to do, because I find that a lot of folk magic books, I kind of wanted that personal element to it, that kind of personal touch.
Because we're not just researchers, we're actually practitioners.
And I want to be able to say...
done a lot of these things that we wrote in our book.
Yeah, like I want to be able to say like this is the spell that I done and this spell worked and here's how it works, and there is some of that in this book. So barbarous words, because in order to employ barbarous words, a person needs to have creativity, to create the phonetics of the sounds, to kind of call these words from nowhere. There has to be an inspiration there, and that is basically what this
Maybe
book
from the
was.
spirit. It's weird you say that, because way before I got into actually reading witchcraft, and I'm sure you're the same. We talk about this all the time. I've always had been obsessed with like witches and also vampires, but mostly like the witch. And I remember like when it was like I would make up like something that sounded like Latin.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would actually freakily work. I remember at one time I went to they're called car boot sales here, but it's where everyone you hire out like a field and you can set up a stall and you can sell your wares and stuff that's secondhand. And I mean I enjoy them now, but back when I was younger I didn't. So me and my niece, we made up these like barbarous words or gibberish to make it rain. Yeah. And it actually started to rain. Yeah. So it's like it reminds me of that very childlike wonder of magic, where you don't know the spell, but you make up something. Yeah. That is. But the intention behind it must still be there, because it made it rain, hey?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's in pop culture as well.
Yeah, like I think barbarous words in magic does play quite a big point. And also, I have to be honest, for me, I wanted to kind of, I'm going to be completely honest about the layout of this book and the subtitle of this book, and I'm being 120% honest. And the moment I saw this film when I was 11, I always wanted a book similar to it. And it's the book from Sleepy Hollow. So she has a book that basically says a compodium of charms, conjurations, and other devices of the spirit world. So that's where a compendium of conjurations, British folk magic, and other popish charms comes from. And I'm being completely honest here, that's where it comes from, because that, for me, when I saw that, it kind of grabbed me.
It's quite a sexy name, compendium.
Yeah, I wanted a book that was sexy. I kind of did though, it sounds weird.
A combination is okay, but a compendium, it just sounds more, it sounds more correct.
And this actual sigil is from a wonderful discovery of witchcraft in the county of Lancaster. And because I have ties with North England, that's why I've incorporated the sigil there, because the north of England is a place that I've resided in since I was 17, and it's a place that is very, very close to my heart, and to the point where I'm originally born in Essex, but people ask me, I say I'm a Northerner, I say I'm Northern English.
You moved there at such a young age.
Yeah, and I kind of have the accent, so, but I just kind of wanted to put that there because I kind of felt like it honoured a part of that.
Yeah.
And
English sort of side.
Yeah, it's going to be my Amazon review, juicier than a tango. That's amazing, I love it.
Brilliant. Right, so also then, talking about the contents of this book itself, what is your favourite spell, incantation, or right in there?
So there is a couple, and it goes from like one extreme to the other. You know how I can get sometimes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'll go from like one extreme to the other. So yeah, that makes me sound like really unpredictable.
No. I mean, as someone who is a magic practitioner, you have to have two hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
One to cure, one to curse.
Yeah. So there is two. So I'm just gonna say two. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm gonna say two. Basically. The spells that I've kind of put in here, the pieces of folk magic, and again, this is not a read to any books mentioned at all, because I'm not like that, and honestly, I've always had respect for any authors, but see, after actually writing a book, I have 10 times more respect for authors, because this was hard, this is hard, it's so hard. And
the work that goes into
it. Blood, sweat and tears. So I have to say that before I say this as a disclaimer. But one of the things I will say is that I wanted to include older spells and charms modernized, but I also wanted to include some older spells and charms that were quite different from the others, were ones that we didn't see. So of course in British folk magic we'll have the abracadabra charm,
Yes.
we'll have witch bottles, we'll have all these sort of things that we know, you know, rowan tree and red thread, that kind of thing.
Scotland, yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I wanted to provide some folk magic that was a little bit different, that something that was quite different. So these are two of the things, and they do go from one extreme to the other. The first one is Alice Catala's broom charm. So Dame Alice Catala, sorry, I said her name wrong, was one of Ireland's first accused witches in the year of 1324. She was basically accused of witchcraft, and her servant girl had confessed that she would sweep these streets, the town's streets, and the dirt, and she would be muttering a spell to bring all the wealth from the town into towards her son. So she would take all the money from the town to her to her son, and I really love that. So yeah, there is another one, but
which is still quite common today. Like
the
likes of in both like sort of American conjure and you know, British folk magic today, like using dirt from certain places. Like it's juicy. And like now we would use like dirt from a bank. To get prosperity.
So I have to.
For them, like there was no bank. So.
I have to add as well towards this that in terms of that spell, I've modernised that spell.
Yep.
So you're not stood in the middle of the town with a broomstick.
Yes.
But I have modernised it. So again, these are all ways in which older folk magic can be modernised.
Yep.
So yeah, and I actually one of the things I have to say, because of course that's Ireland, it's not Britain, but I made a point of including parts of Irish folk magic in the book. Because it does have a history with Britain, and also I made a point of putting like Scottish folk magic and Welsh folk magic as well, and Cornish and English. So I've kind of just merged it all. But yeah, so sorry, I'm.
And what was your? So was that the only spell that was your favourite one, or was there another one?
There is another one, but it's dead evil.
Well, we all like a bit of a juicy.
All right, it's dead evil, but so I've lost it now. Bloody lost it. So it is kind of a bit evil, but yeah. So basically, the spell is to transfer illness. So it's to transfer illness. It's a rite of transference to transfer illness to another, and it's taken from rowan tree and red thread. So Ali Nisbet was said to take a pail of boiling water, bathing the patient's legs in it, and she dipped the fingers in the vessel. And she would run Widdersham, so anti-clockwise, around the person's sick bed 3 times, saying the bones to the fire and the soul to the devil. And by doing that, she had transferred the illness to another woman who had later died less than 24 hours after the conjuration had been complete. So it's pretty dark. But I kind of, the moment I read it, I was like, that's dead naughty, I love it.
Oh.
Like, not that I would do that, but it's just something that is, in terms of contagion, the magical element, folk element of contagion, I kind of love that, because I've never seen anything like that before, and that's the point. I've tried putting spells and charms in this book, but
we see that quite a lot, like, especially in, like, you know, a lot of sort of folk magic where, you know, for me, an example in the book, you know, is getting about around the sick person and let a cat run over it, let a dog run in it, and that illness is transferred onto the cat and a dog. You know, and there's a lot within like British and Europe, like within America now, like there's that contagion is very contagion. You know, it's very prominent within folk magic. I think with any kind of sort of culture or religion. So, in order. So this is question time.
Okay, so
ask him all the juicy
but then things start getting like dead personal. So I'm trying to check.
And what you do, I'm gonna just put my big in charge.
Okay, so ordered. So, okay, so just ordered the book today. Midgard Snap, thank you so much. Miss Mary, hi guys, I'm gonna order the book this weekend, can't wait to read it. Thank you so much, Miss Mary.
Hey.
Scarlet Shield 0009. Hello. Lisa said, I love when you two are doing lives.
Thanks, Lisa.
Miss Lizzie, that's going to be my Amazon review, Juicier Than a Tango.
I love that, yeah.
And I'm also glad you like the Black Toad book, Lisa. I knew you'd like that one. George, have you had another scary fairy encounter? Yeah.
It was probably when we was last in
Dublin, yeah, and it's funny enough.
That guy.
Yeah, it was really strange. So I'm sure that if anyone hasn't seen the video, it's so like. But
and then it got like a resurgence recently.
Yeah, and then but it made me laugh because I talked about meeting a fairy on my own in Manchester, which was quite frightening. But someone commented and they put, the only fairy in this video is this English crap. Which was amazing.
I love it. Yeah, this is years ago, someone who got there, and I'm like, there's been controversial what they're saying, and I said something, and they were like, this shouldn't be called Scottish cunning ways, it should be Scottish cunting ways. So stuff we actually love reading.
I actually liked the comment that the person put. So there's a couple. I could tell you a couple. So
we actually know we actually found out what the being is as well.
There was this guy that kept coming up to me, but he was really starey, really, really starey, almost like he'd just taken shitloads of weed. He was, but no red eye, nothing like that, but vacant, there was nothing behind the eyes, fucking dead.
We had to get
the eyes. Yeah, it got really bad, but he started following me, and he kept following me, and I was like, where are you from? And he was around. I was like,
no, we kept saying island. It was like,
island.
We were like, what part?
What part of Ireland?
Country.
And I was like, what part? And he was like, everywhere. It was really weird. It was like somewhere, or what? And he was like everywhere. But it was just so fucking creepy. It was so freaky. Yeah, it was really creepy. And Ireland kind of tends to be that place where you go there and kind of magic just naturally happens.
Yeah.
So the time I was outside the bookshop and casually just mentioned Koyak, and the wind was whoa, and this bin got blown over, and it was just it's kind of. So there was that, but I did have.
Be careful your words.
Yeah, I did have another experience, and that was in Glastonbury, and that was at the foot of the tour, and I was with a couple of people, but the strangest thing was that there is myths about Gwyneth Nud there, and someone who I was with was like, look up there, and there was a horned figure. It was like a pass that went up to the tour, but it was like hedges, but there was hollowed out. And on the top of it, I saw a face physically with horns, and it was pretty fucking terrifying. And the person has got a 5p. This is gonna make me sound completely so the person got 5p's and literally threw it up the path, and all these lights just lit and then just darted, and it was the most craziest, almost like fairy lights. It was so strange.
I like the will.
It was so strange. But the person was like, they'll go in a minute, and then done that, and they just went, and I was like...
So that's the thing about the she, or the fairies, it's more a fact of a piece and then them working with them, because you don't want them in your life. I made that mistake many years ago.
So, Scarlet Shill, okay, so Sour Sweet Gone, lovely. Cole McLaren. Hi guys, congratulations on the book, George. Thank you so much. Root Witch, I'm so sorry, I can't, I'm definitely going to murder your name, so I do apologise, but Root Witch. Question, what's your tradition of magic or witchcraft you practice? So both of our tradition of magic is folk magic, predominantly British folk magic. Ash is more into Scottish and Irish folk magic, and I'm also into traditional witchcraft, but I also do practice root work and hoodoo, and that is kind of something I've practiced. since I've been 16. But yeah, so that's kind of the tradition. So I can't wait to buy this. The cover is enchanting, and you both look fabulous. I must go back to work, but kisses. Oh, thank you so much. It's so lovely.
It is. I always like when he first showed it me. I was like, that is sexy as fuck. Like, I love the kind of velvety look to it.
Oh, sorry. Cole McLaren just put, you guys going to be at the Leaf Witchcraft Festival thingy in December.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't know about that, and I
didn't know about that, Cole, but send us like a PM. And send us a PM.
We're in definitely let me know, because also as well, if you are in Edinburgh, like give us a heads up, because we love more friends, like we love magical friends. So yeah. That sounds cool. I'm gonna have to have a look at that. Traditional British Witch brought it today. Thank you so much. I still need to get the book. Can't wait. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, guys, for all the comments and questions. I'm trying to think, because I've kind of written some things down. That's kind of everything, I think. But I just really want to kind of take the opportunity to say thank you, because since releasing the book within 4 days, there's been under 100 copies bought, and I'm like so taken back and so overwhelmed. And the comments I've had from people after reading the book, like, thank you so much. Like, I'm so impressed. Like, I'm so impressed that people have kind of enjoyed the book, if that makes sense. I'm like, it means a lot to me, because I put a lot into this.
And you do, as an author, like, you don't realise like how much work it goes into.
Yeah, like a lot.
It's like it takes a while to like write it, and then like the whole editing process. As well. Bang. The whole editing process as well is like
so the point where you're like, fuck it. You're like, fuck it.
You have to, like, as our motto here, persevere.
Yeah. I'm so intrigued about that Leaf Witchcraft thing in December. Definitely need to have a look at that. And once again, like, Cole, if you just are in the area, like, give us, just
because we want to like meet. We'd love to meet. The local witches.
If a better thing to do would be to DM the Northern English Witch. If you're on Instagram, that would be good.
Or Scottish Cunning
on
YouTube or Instagram.
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for the feedback that I've received, and I'm like overwhelmed. Like, it means a lot, and it really does mean a lot.
Also, can I just say, it's been really nice. Like, we've had like a third picture. With like our books together,
like they're gonna like Rob's spine,
like
make a
little
book bag. Finally, it can be done. We're doing it live on cam. The scissoring. Oh my god! No, they're just awful.
No, but it's just really nice. Like, we have, like, the third picture now, like, where
it's sweet.
It's quite like bought the books either like together, or they're like, oh, finally, like, I've got the
like sort of look at these two slightly,
which is nice. It's really nice.
No, it is.
We're really good friends, and like, it's nice to see our wee babies together as well.
So, it's cool. I kind of like how they always put it together as well. Like, as if I just made that book scissor on live.
Oh wow. There's always trying to.
I know. You've got to try. Cheeky scissor.
To get, like,
I've missed you two live.
Do you know what? We will get back into doing our like tea and wine sessions. Obviously we've been writing books. And then doing like projects.
See, when you like write a book, everything else is on. It's out the window. People like, you need to do this work, and you're like, you need to fuck off. Like, it's hard. A lot. It's really difficult. But
no doubt it won't be their first book. So
well,
there's a couple of books.
No, we're not. I'm like,
But it won't be the first. I will say that.
I'm not saying anything. Lips are sealed, and if you don't shut up. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And
I
thank you so
think we
much
should
for
just
joining
finish
us.
as well, like where you can find us as well.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna help, isn't
where
it?
can they find you?
On the lower regions of hell.
Remember, you're a professional. He's an amazing tarot reader.
So, you say that like I've got like memory problems. Like, remember?
It's because it's like
no, it's weird. It's because I do tarot professionally, but for some reason I mention everything else, but not that I do tarot, and I do it every time. And I'm like, why, George? Stop it.
It's kind of like when you introduce yourself, you forget to tell people what you do as you like for work.
It's weird. So. You can find me on my YouTube channel, obviously, through this, George Hares. So please, if you're not, please hit that bell and subscribe. I would absolutely love that. And if you can share this video, go for it. I also want to say as well, guys, people that, people that buy the book, I would love it if you please leave a review afterwards, because that makes such a difference.
That really helps authors.
Massive difference. So yeah, if you could, and to all those people that have left reviews, thank you so much. So yeah, you can find me on all one word, the Northern English Witch, on Instagram, and that's where I'm available to book for tarot consultations, as well as kind of I will post content as well, not just about Barbarous words. Recently it has, but mainly traditional witchcraft and folk related stuff. I'm trying to think what else. That's it. Oh, and you can find Barbarous Words on Amazon.co.uk, or you can go on .com or whatever domain you're in. Yeah. So it's available via paperback and Kindle just now. A lot of people have been finding it difficult or finding it hard trying to actually find the book. Sometimes when the book is new and hasn't got a lot of recognition, it's a case of having to go onto like Amazon, onto the book section. So all you need to do, I know the old lower back's starting off, isn't it?
I have to my knees.
So my lower back and your knees. Sounds like a night of ibuprofen. So years ago when I was 21, it would be a different sort of night, wouldn't it? But anyway, so the point is, if you search under the book section of Amazon and you type in Barbarous Words, this bad boy should absolutely come up. So yes,
Right, so and then to move. So you can find me on, mostly under Scottish Cunning Ways, and mostly on Instagram, and that's Scottish Cunning Ways all in one word. You can find me also on here on YouTube. I do a few videos, it's rants and like anything that's to do with like the Scottish folklore or folk magic and all that. You can find me on Etsy. I'm also a creator, so we like kayak dolls, folk magic charms, all that like. You also can get like a signed copy of my book on my Etsy.
Signed copies will happen with me, guys. Just bear with me for the moment. I have had. That's a good point, actually. I have actually had people ask about those, and I will be doing signed copies. So yeah. Also, you can find him on his OnlyFans, Slutwitch69.
Yeah, right. I'm not good looking.
Don't do that to yourself.
But yeah, but if not, and you want like a quick delivery without like a sort of sign, you can go onto Amazon or Barnes & Noble and get my book, which is The Black Book of Isabel Godey and Other Scottish Spells and Charms. So yeah, that's what we do.
What? Go on.
You know what? We always have to put a bit of humor.
Right. So, guys, thank you so much, and it's been an absolute hoot and a half, hasn't it?
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
And I hope
it's been ages since we've done it. And it's really nice.
I'm enjoying it a bit too much. We could start making a hot chocolate, come back and be like, and when he walked through the door,
another wine.
Yeah, when I saw him the next time, that was the last time I ever saw him. Like, who? I'm like, no, don't worry about it, just getting dead past.
Oh, and I'm like this, I'm like,
yeah,
I'll tell you about the time.
The like camera's falling down and like it's just black.
Yeah.
It's a thing that we're carrying on. Oh, George has had too many hot chocolates.
Oh.
Right, guys, over and out. Enjoy and thank you so much.
Peace.
Cheers. Oh, there we go.